And at least a third of the 2021-2022 budget will be allocated to financing public debt locally and internationally. The Division of Revenue Bill 2021, tabled in the National Assembly by Budget Committee Chairman Kanini Kega, indicates that 1.17 trillion Kenya shillings will be used for annual debt redemption and interest payment, almost 300 billion shillings more than the amount allocated in the 2020-2021 financial year. And as Francis Gashuri reports, the national government will take 1.77 trillion shillings of the 3 trillion Kenya shilling budget, with county governments allocated 409.8 billion Kenya shillings.
The national debt remains one of the major challenges of President Uhuru Kenyatta's administration, with a huge chunk of resources every financial year allocated to servicing local and international loans. In the 2021-2022 financial year that kicks off in July, at least a third of the national budget will go to financing public debt. The Division of Revenue Bill 2021, tabled in the National Assembly by the Budget and Appropriation Committee, chaired by Kieni MP Kanini Kega, has proposed a 1.17 trillion shillings allocation to annual debt redemption and interest on local and international loans. This is an increase from the 829.9 billion shillings allocated to servicing public debts in the 2020-2021 financial year that ends in June this year. Kenya's public debt currently stands at over 7 trillion shillings and is likely to rise to 9 trillion shillings, with the bulk of resources borrowed to finance mega infrastructure projects. Economic pundits often questioning the cost of such projects and their value.
As I have said many times, the chickens have come home to roost. The country is broke. Those for you who follow news will know that the government has just concluded negotiations with the IMF for a 3-year program. Countries, when they go broke, unlike companies, are not liquidated. This IMF program is the equivalent of putting the country in receivership.
The Division of Revenue Bill 2021, that proposes how the national and county governments share resources in the 2021-2022 financial year, proposes a 1.39 trillion shillings allocation to the national government, with devolved units receiving 409.8 billion shillings out of the 1.77 trillion shillings shareable revenue. The 370 billion shilling shareable allocation to counties is 27.3% of the last audited accounts approved by Parliament, and complies with Article 203 sub-Article 2 of the Constitution, that requires no less than 15% allocation to devolved units. Part of the conditional grants to county governments proposed in the Division of Revenue Bill include the controversy-ridden leasing of medical equipment, equalization fund of 6.8 billion shillings and 332 million shillings allocated to 5 counties to enable them construct county headquarters. The beneficiaries are Isiolo, Lamu, Nyandarua, Tana River and Tharaka Nithi counties. Other proposed key allocations in the budget include 514 billion shillings to national obligations such as pensions, with constitutional commissions allocated 299.3 billion shillings. Parliament is allocated 37 billion shillings, while the judiciary is allocated 17.9 billion shillings. The State Law Office and Directorate of Public Prosecutions, as well as the Attorney General's Office and the Controller of Budget, are allocated a combined figure of 14.7 billion shillings. There is, however, a national government deficit of up to 384.9 billion shillings that will have to be plugged through borrowing. National security operations, national social safety net, targeting the elderly, orphans and persons with disability, youth empowerment, and national irrigation and fertilizer distribution projects are among allocations in the 2021-2022 budget. 4.1 billion shillings will be used to foot examination bills for this year's KCPE and KCSE candidates. The challenge, however, lies in the Kenya Revenue Authority's ability to collect the projected revenue to finance the 3 trillion shillings budget after an economic tumble aggravated by effects of COVID-19 since March last year. Francis Gashuri, Citizen TV.